Check,
Are we
check
live
test.
yet? There we are.
Recording?
We are
Yes.
live. I'm going to start recording on my Audacity.
Yes.
See if
I
it's
started
set up
mine.
the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Did the old taparoo test. Except I usually go.
Yeah, really.
Get
I don't hear it. I don't hear it. Pull it out and
a hammer out and start. Gung, gung. All right. I was going to say, I got a little for the banter.
Okay.
So I'll save what I was about to say for
okay.
For
That's
banter.
cool.
My subtitle there under my name is just I'm just screaming at the world right now.
Well, yeah, that's
Stop the madness. Calgon, take me away.
Stop the Madness. That was Powder. What was her first name?
That was I don't remember what her name was.
Something Ann Powder or something Ann Powder. She had the real close cut blonde hair that made it. Yeah. POWD or TER Powder. Something Ann Powder, I think. Yeah.
I can totally picture her face.
Oh, yeah.
I can picture her jumping around and Stop the Madness and all that. This is a cat butt, by the way.
Yes.
Well, it was actually aimed at me. So,
well,
Bluey, now is not the time, sweet. See, when she gets like this, I just have to let her go through what she's going through, and then eventually she'll leave me alone.
Just right. Look, mouse will be So rabbit, bunny,
She forces my affections upon her by coming up to wherever my hand is and sticking her head under my hand to force being pet.
There you go. That's what she wants. Yeah.
No means no, little girl.
Nope. Not in the cat world.
I was going to eat you. Yeah, and it's worse when I have my hand on the mouse because that's when she's like, oh, yeah. She can make it very difficult to work sometimes during the day. Luckily, my keyboard is wireless and I just have an on and off switch on it.
So okay. So you can,
you
just pop it off to not have to worry about all the cat scribbles that come through.
Yep. She might send some weird IMs to some coworkers if I don't do that.
Who knows? Yeah.
She's moving the microphone around. Are you about done? We have a show, man.
Not yet.
Live over the top of a cat's ass. It's the Superman Super Show.
Yep.
Come on, be done, please. Yep, there she goes. There's cat butt.
Yep.
Are you about? Okay, I'm gonna put you on the floor, which means you're just gonna jump right back up here. We'll do that a few times. There she is. Better cover up the keyboard on the actual laptop that does not have an on-off switch. Luckily, nobody's watching right now.
Well, but it would be entertaining for anybody that was. So, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, totally going to play this for my wife later. Now there's somebody watching. Hello and welcome to my cat's behind.
Yes. An hour of cats getting in our faces. That's
Louis,
what we do.
Just stop. That is. I don't just your butt. Come on. That person who was watching has now left. They were
they're not into cats.
What the hell is this?
I mean, who's not into cats? We don't want you watching if you're not into cats. Right. Go away.
Now she's gonna.
Yeah, I was gonna say I see her over your right shoulder, left shoulder. Yeah, that one there. She's
Bluey, are you done?
No. Nope, she's gonna come over to your side. Nope, see, we'll come over here this way. That's funny. Sorry, I know how irritating it can be, but it's funny from this side.
It's not. I'm gonna sleep on her butt.
Yep.
Oh, now somebody else is watching. Hello, welcome to the Cat Show.
Yes,
where we try to talk about Superman, but a cat intrudes.
Well, they have those channels designed for dogs or cats or whatever. This is just a YouTube channel just designed for cats. We have the cat, our cat watchers in mind. That's
Yep. Oh, that person left. Well, are you about done? Okay, let's try this again. Number 2, second time, putting you on the floor. She's down by my legs. Can feel it. Oh, I think we may be okay.
All right.
She's moved on for the moment. She's still in the room. Hey, watch as the cat cleans herself on the floor. The house cat I don't know. I can't think of a Latin word for house cat. All right.
Felis,
pain in the asses.
So, yeah, something. I forget what the class, order, genus, species. Species would be the second word. Felis is the genus. All cats should be Felis, and then a house cat, I forget what it is.
Check out the big brain on Ed.
I have a degree in it.
I know.
Something would have to stick, I would hope, although I haven't used it in umpteen years. So
yeah, we have a quote from Mark Twain around here somewhere that basically talks about post-secondary education being somewhat useless in certain situations.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people, particularly now. I've been reading that there's a trend towards not college for the current generation.
Yep.
And I tell people I've been to college. I've been to 2 different colleges on 3 different at 3 different times and have degrees from each trip. And my justification for college to anybody that has no idea would be to go, first of all, away. Don't go to college.
Yep.
Don't go and shit where you eat. It doesn't. Yep. You gain nothing from that. Go away to college and use it as an opportunity to be exposed to things that you normally would not be exposed, or not normally, but you wouldn't be exposed to if you stayed home.
Yeah.
Whether you get a degree, whatever. Of course, depending on what you're doing, you have to have a justification for being there. So a degree is a good way to go about it. Paying the money for it. But for me, it was an opportunity to hear from and to observe people that if I'd stayed at home, I never would have been exposed to.
Yeah.
And so, nowadays it seems, particularly politically, that the fear is by exposure, you'll be changed and you'll be that way. And I'm like, well, no, I mean, I absorb stuff all the time, new stuff, different stuff. And most of it, I'm like, yeah, no, that's not me. I don't want that after the exposure. And I find out about what it's like. Yeah, no, I don't want to eat that, see that, watch that, hear that. I'm not going to talk like that. I'm not going to, it's like, yeah. But now I know if I interact with somebody else and they do something or something in a way that I have seen and heard, I understand it. Whereas if somebody does it for the first time, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? What are you talking about? What is that? Oh, now it's like, oh, okay. Then you probably know of these people, or you think of things that way, or it's like, okay, but that's all. And if you go and you don't get a degree in whatever, is it worth it? The money? That's a whole nother discussion. Yeah. And I think that's a much more personal kind of answer that you have to give,
Yeah.
People have money. They don't have money. They want to spend it. They don't want to spend it. It's like, yeah, that's all up to you. You have to justify if the, $130,000 you spent for your 4-year degree is worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. So
I had the same kind of experience as far as growing up and getting out there and meeting new people and whatnot. I didn't go to college though. I joined a band. So those are your 2 options.
Oh, that's very much
college or band.
That's very much the same thing. And actually, it's funny to say that because at a certain age, there is much overlap between band and college.
Yes,
it's it's the same people exactly. So it's like same thing. Just one is during the day, one is at night. It's that's
Yep.
Yep.
All right. We ready to do this?
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's do it.
The following episode was recorded in front of a live streaming audience on Sunday, December the 21st, 2025. You're listening to the Superman Super Show, episode number 94, The Plot of Count Bergac. It's one place in the notes I did not update. Oh, turn my keyboard off. I forgot about that.
Oh, yep. You got the cat safety on.
Yep. It's like the child safety locks in the back of a car.
That's it. Yep.
Oh, uh-oh. She just came running toward me.
You said cat, or she heard me. I don't know if she heard me say cat, but
yeah. So far she's ignoring me, but all right.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to the Superman Super Show. I'm a host. My name is Steven, and 1,000 miles over there to my right is another host, the mouth of the South, the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Ed Moore. How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Where are those from?
The mouth of the South, I think, is the wrestling.
Okay. I've heard that on wrestling. Yeah. Okay.
The manager of the Hart Foundation, Jimmy Hart. I think he was the mouth of the South.
Okay.
The Ayatollah of rock and rolla came from the Clint Eastwood movie Heartbreak Ridge.
Okay.
He had the guy in the troupe that was always playing the guitar. He was the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, and he was supposed to be cool, but not. Even at the time, you're like, that's whoever wrote this has an idea of what being cool means, and it's completely differs from practically everybody else on the planet. I feel like Clint probably wrote that because he was old enough at that point to be really out of touch.
Could be, yeah. Or it could be Clint Eastwood was a pretty smart man. He could have known that was out of touch, and so he did it tongue in cheek. But you never know with people like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
right,
you said something. You said you had something for banter. What you got?
I do have some banter. First off, they have put up. I don't know if you saw the teaser for the new Superwoman movie or Supergirl woman.
Unfortunately, I saw it. Yes.
You didn't like it?
No.
Did you read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow?
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's like one of my favorite comics out there. It's 12 issues, Tom King. If you're not a Tom King guy, you're not going to like it. But
okay, the more I read of Tom King, the more I would have to say nah. Yeah. It's, I'm reading his Wonder Woman right now, and his misogynistic way of getting through stories is really starting to put me off. Wonder Woman, I mean, she is maintaining Wonder Woman. It's not that. It's the people that she comes up against. I'm tired of all of her bad guys are utter and total misogynistic assholes.
Yeah.
It just because, back however many hundreds of years ago, Wonder Woman would have put up with that once. Since then, she would have just punched him in the face and been done with it. I mean, she would recognize it, and it's like, no, we'll stop this right here and move on. It's
Wonder Woman doesn't fuck around. She's not, she didn't grow up in our society. She has different rules.
She doesn't need to fuck around. It's like, I wasn't taught to fuck around. So
she's kind of like Conan in that, where it's like, you call this civilization, Yeah, but
okay.
I'm hit and miss. I'm hit and miss with Tom King. I didn't care for his Vision comic at Marvel. I didn't care for his Mr. Miracle book.
Not at all.
I loved his Adam Strange book. I loved. He did the Superman Up in the Sky story that I freaking loved. Him and I think it was Andy Kubert. And then this Supergirl story, because he does something I think with Supergirl that no one's maybe really ever thought of. And if you don't have that, I mean, if you go by the Supergirl that showed up in the Superman movie, right? She shows up and he basically tells one of the robots that she has to go to planets with red suns so she can get drunk. And it's like, that's not Supergirl. But you read this because it all comes from this Tom King 12-issue mini. And what he did with it is, when Krypton explode, Kara Zor-El, of course, was on the domed city of, I can't remember the name of the city, that was floating out in space.
Argos or something. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
I forget.
Her father was, of course, Jor-El's brother. He was a scientist. He built the dome, but throughout their years in space, they kept coming across different calamities. And I can't remember the original thing that happened, which is why she ended up having to be put into a rocket, because the city ended up getting destroyed originally in the original story, that whenever Supergirl was created back then, and she was put in a rocket, sent to Earth, and she's a teenager at that point. But in this one, she basically, all that kind of stuff happens. And she just kind of has to live through watching all these people she's known die. And she ends up, unlike Clark, who is sent away as a city was called Argo. Thank you, Tony.
Argo.
34.
Okay. I thought Argo was something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But, what was I saying?
Welcome, Tony HP 34.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think we've caught you watching before. We caught you watching. That sounded very...
Yeah, really. What, you're going to hit him with a ruler on the hand there? It's
But unlike Clark, who, yes, his planet was destroyed, his family was destroyed, he was a baby, and so he doesn't remember any of it. She had to live through all of this, and she's got post-traumatic stress syndrome. She's very much like Clark, where she she believes in doing good things and helping people who need to be helped. She's just a bit more dark about it because of her past and her post-traumatic stress and all that. It's really good. And in fact, the whole 12-issue mini is basically what's the Western with John Wayne, the big famous one that they give me a John Wayne Western. True Grit. The story is True Grit, because if you've never, it's one of those stories that I urge anybody.
I'll find it and read it.
It's good stuff.
Watching the trailer, the characterization is something that personally I do not like about contemporary comic book writing. And that's where you take a superhero and you make them non-superhero. You make them non-heroic. Yeah. And I just, that is not why I read comic books. If I want a non-superhero, for fear of offending anybody that is listening, I'll just track what Trump is doing in the White House, and I'll be perfectly content of having all the reality is fine for non-heroes. If that's what I want, I'll just follow the real world. Yeah. But I want to escape, and escaping into a characterization like they showed on that trailer is not where I want to escape. That's not the world or the person I want to hang out with. Now, I don't mind, of course, the ups and downs that characters will go through over the years. That's to be expected. But there are demarcations for the highs and the lows that I don't enjoy going past. I mean, you can vary, but once you get too low or once you get too much, I'm just like, I check out, and it's like, nah, that's not what I want. And watching the trailer, I told my wife, that trailer showed absolutely nothing that I want to go to a theater to see. But to support superhero movies, when the DVD comes out, we will buy it. And once we have the DVD, of course, we will more than likely watch it because we got a DVD right there. So I will consume it, and I will have a more informed idea than just what the trailer shows, or any number of other trailers leading up to it if I watch others. But
see, that's the problem. It's a teaser trailer.
Yeah,
they really can't give you much in the teaser trailer, and they really did focus that teaser trailer all on her basically being kind of depressed and drunk and all that stuff.
More of an antisocial idea of what.
Yeah, and while that's part of it,
it can't possibly be all of it.
Yeah. There she goes through a whole character arc, and she's forced at one point to really deal with the, saying it out loud, it's like probably not something you would want in a Supergirl or even a Superman comic, especially if you're into the more old school stuff. She has to deal with her emotional tragedy and blah, blah. It's like,
I don't necessarily have a problem with it. Now, also what makes it more difficult is I have been reading the current Supergirl comic book. which is fun and enjoyable comic writing. That's how that character is being portrayed in that book.
Yeah.
So having read that for the past 6 or 7 months and then watching that trailer, I'm like, no, these two characters are not the same character. This is not, So I'll read the miniseries and
I hadn't read anything with Supergirl in it since the death of Superman. And that wasn't the real super. Oh, I guess I read when Jeff Loeb during the Superman Batman, that run that he did, he brought her back during that, the actual Supergirl. But other than that, I haven't read anything with her in it since, except for the Tom King thing. And then I haven't read anything after that. So I don't know if the Supergirl that's in DC Comics now is everything that happened in Woman of Tomorrow is actually part of canon. And she's just, this is who she is coming out of that. I don't know, because I haven't read any of it. So I just know it was a good one of my favorite series in a long time.
Yeah, that Tom King comes to mind immediately, but there are some other authors that are, whatever you want to call them, they're like third or maybe fourth generation comic book fans that have turned writers.
Yeah.
And I say that over time frame. I don't mean like kids of kids, but just the time frame. And the trend from those original Golden Age writers to now is to try to make superheroes more realistic. And I'm like, I'm not sure I can think of something less realistic than a alien with super strength. It's like, why do you want to make that realistic? Why do you want to take Superman's powers away and have him hitchhike across the country?
We could do a whole episode about this. This falls into the whole category where a few years back, I think there was an article in Forbes of all places that was like, the reason, this was before James Gunn was even thought of James Gunn coming over. I think it might have even been before the Man of Steel movie. I don't remember, but it was just all about how the headline was something like, ultimately that Superman cannot be a success. They can't make a successful Superman movie because he is a god and no one can relate to him. And that's why writers try to depower him and stuff to try to humanize him. It's like, I don't need to relate to the fact that he's an alien. I don't need to relate to the fact that he's super strong. I need to relate to the fact that he has a freaking heart and he cares about people and he will move heaven and earth to help people that deserve it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I certainly can't speak to why anyone else reads comics, but I read comics as a form of escape. And like I said, why do I want to escape into realism? That's not an escape. That's just that's just going to hammer home how much life sucks and dads beating sons and women getting raped. And it's like, I don't want to escape to that.
What's crazy is that media typically, if the world around you is a hellish wasteland, the media tends to, produce movies and comics and books and TV shows that are more lighthearted to try to pull people out of that.
From that. Yeah.
And then when life is pretty good, generally for people, that's when the dark shit comes out. So I don't think, maybe writers and whatnot just don't think that this is going to last much longer. I don't know. But I was just thinking the other day, isn't this just the first year of this term? Isn't this just year one? We still got 3 more fucking years with this guy.
Unless something happens, we still have at least 3 more years of stuff like this. Now, all of this I say, and I'm sitting here thinking, the past couple nights I've been reading Evil Ernie and Lady Death.
But that's kind of humorous dark, right?
It's so over the top that it passes realism. Yeah. It's like, So
it's like Army of Darkness, right?
It's like, I was just sitting here thinking, and it was making me laugh. Yeah, Evil Ernie last night, and
Well, beyond the Supergirl trailer, they also put out. Well, I'll say teaser. I won't say trailer.
Yeah,
they also put out a super uninformative teaser trailer for the next Avengers movie, which doesn't come out until this time next year.
Yeah, I didn't watch that. I heard or saw something.
I watched it. There's nothing to it. There's nothing to it. You're gonna learn one thing, and that's about it. And it's not even something that. Regardless, I'm still excited for it because it's the same guys that did Infinity War and Endgame, right, and Winter Soldier, Civil War. All those are my favorite of the MCU movies, and because those two guys who cracked a lot of their, what do they call that? When they're first starting out and they have to pay their dues. There's a certain
pay their dues.
Yeah. Well, they paid all their dues working on the TV show Community, where they directed a couple of their paintball episodes. So yeah, but anyway, that made me, though, because then when I watched it, I was like, all right, whatever. And there's a YouTube channel I watch sometimes called Screen Crush. Whenever I watch certain new nerd shows, I'll jump over to Screen Crush and see what they're saying about it.
What they say.
So so he had a video breaking down the teaser trailer, and I thought, well, let's see what he got out of it, right? And he made reference to a bunch of the movies, blah blah blah, and that's when I decided I'm going to do another major rewatch of the MCU. I may skip many of the TV shows because I can't imagine wanting to watch Secret Invasion again. I can't imagine wanting to watch I don't know. That the TV shows at this point haven't excited me as much as. But yeah, I'll watch the movies. I watched Iron Man last night. I've started the Hulk, and I'll just go through them. And
I still, as a comic book fan, I maintain there are two scenes that always come to mind in movies. One of the best movie scenes is seeing him take off in the orange and red armor for the first time. Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where he tells him he's looking for paint schemes, and he comes up with that hot rod, and he's like, and the next scene I was like, yes, that is it.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's funny, one of my favorite lines comes from that scene too, because as he's looking at it before he adds the red, there's looking at it, and Jarvis is talking to him, and he it's all gold because they put that new alloy on it for when they have to go up too high. And Tony looks at it and he goes, a little ostentatious, don't you think? And Jarvis just says something like, what was I thinking, sir? You're usually so, no, I can't think of the word. Discreet. What was I thinking, sir? You're usually so discreet. It just cracks me up.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, damn, that AI has sarcasm. That is
built
AI.
in.
That's true AI. That's not what Chat GTP does.
And I do want to say the other best superhero movie is when Wonder Woman jumps over the wall in No Man's Land and starts crossing No Man's Land.
They're all like, no, don't go.
That is hero. I mean, that is exactly, for me, that is what I want to read comic books for, is to see those scenes. That it was, so.
Yeah, but that's where, looking forward to some new. I watched the Fantastic Four movie again for the second time, and loved it just as much the second time through.
I thought it was okay. I'm not going to slam it, but it's not going to make my, what are your favorite, or what, if I can only watch one, what should it be, or whatever kind of. But it's like, it's out there, and it was entertaining, and okay.
Well, but you're wrong, so
and that's fair. I'm old enough and secure enough that you can tell me I'm wrong, and I know I'm not, and neither one bothers me. It's like, okay, yeah.
That's when we input the audio clip from The Big Lebowski. That's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah, that's it. I like the way the movie ties the whole room together.
Oh, that's such a good movie, isn't it? I haven't seen it in a while, but it's one that every once in a while, it's like Forrest Gump. Every few years.
Just so low key, and you just sit back and be entertained. That's
my favorite moment. I'm not going to use the words, even though we're perfectly fine to cuss. But there's a moment in the movie when the dude is at the Big Lebowski's house, and he sees Bunny, the child bride, out on the out by the pool sunning herself, and so he goes to check her out, and they're talking, and she said, and the butler Brent is following, and she says something to the effect of, I'll give you I'll do the oral thing on you for $200. And she goes, not Brent though. She goes, but for a 50 extra or something like that, he can watch. And Brent just goes, that's amazing. Or something. He's just very embarrassed, but he's trying to be upbeat about it at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. That's brilliant. That's amazing. Something like that. Again, it's been years. I think it's time for me to watch it again. But.
Yeah. Having spoken about it, I should dig it out and watch it too here. Like I have plenty of time over the holidays. Actually, I don't go back to work until the 5th of January.
Nice. That's around the time Ronna, because she's working for the school district now. She's off on Christmas break, and
I have accrued time and had to use it or lose it, so I just used it here. It's
yeah. All right, dude, you ready to get into this story?
Let's do it.
Today we're looking at the Plot of Count Bergac. This is the 4th and final Superman tale that appeared in Superman number 11. It was written by Jerry Siegel with art by Leo Nowak. And it has a cover date of July/August 1941. But according to Mike's Amazing World of Comics at Mike'sAmazingWorld.com, this issue hit newsstands on May the 2nd, 1941. And here is what happened in the story. Clark Kent saves the life of a department store heiress, Patricia Randall. He then learns that Randall's boyfriend, Count Bergac, is trying to marry her in order to steal from her company. Superman tries to foil his plan by making him look bad to Patricia. Still, the next day, Patricia marries the Count and turns control of the company over to him. Superman finds out that the Count had the real Patricia kidnapped and hired an impersonator. Superman foils the plot and rescues Patricia. She then has Bergac arrested and fires her board of directors for graft. By the way, that synopsis also comes from Mike's Amazing World of Comics. Ed, what do you think about this one?
It had all of the beats that we have come to expect, I think, from these Golden Age stories. As we have mentioned before, unfortunately, one of the beats was not a recurring supervillain yet. We really haven't gotten into that. Some memorable situations, some memorable characters. Billy D, hey, Merry Christmas.
Billy D just joined us. Merry Christmas, Billy D. I should have put up my image. I put a Superman hat on Superman on our regular logo, which folks will see next week on Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas, yes. So it just was a lot of what it has been, and I am and have been a fan of that. So it was like, okay, that's cool. Now, beware, folks, if you're not a fan of Golden Age stories. This is a very much a Golden Age, particularly Superman story. So it just
it's very guilty of the more story than there is pages to tell the story, and like a couple of the stories that we've read, it gets to a certain point where you're coming to the end, and you almost feel like the writer's like, oh shit, I've only got a couple pages to fill, and so everything as fast as everything had been happening for the first 11 pages, those final 2 pages, just in this one, just so much, they just boom really quick. And it would have been nice for them to have added more to what we see at the end than some of the stuff we saw at the beginning, but we'll get to that.
Well, if you could have shifted your focus,
which is why I honestly feel that I can't imagine it's the case, but because of that, I just honestly feel like at some point Jerry Siegel's typing away. It's like, and then this is going to happen. Ooh, and then I might have him do this. Well, shit, I got to try to fit that into 2 pages. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll just put it all in one narration box and we'll go.
I'm already at 1,500 words for the script. What do I, it's like, let's bring that puppy home, dog. And then you give it to an artist and he's reading through it and he's like, shit, I got to do this on the last page. Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun. It was a fun one. It's interesting because I started to listen to a Superman. Where'd it go? Where's my phone? Oh, well, I think it's just called Superman. It's a nonfiction book about, the history of Superman and Jerry and Joe and all that stuff. And I'm still right at the very beginning. I mean, I think in the book, they just kind of went through his first appearance in Action Comics #1, but the author made a point to say that Jerry and Joe made a point for those first few years to always have Superman go up against your normal, everyday street crime type stuff.
Okay.
The reason is to have that juxtaposition between this fantastical super character.
Okay.
And I think the way that the way they made it made sense to me is they compared it to something like John Carter of Mars, where you have somebody from Earth who goes to an alien planet, and because of that, being on that alien planet gives them fantastic powers.
Right.
And so Superman switched it around. It was an alien coming to Earth, and on Earth, because he comes to Earth, that gives him fantastic powers. And so we're seeing regular street level stuff, but it's this fantastic alien super machine that's foiling it. And that's kind of the way they explain it away, is that it's there as a way for them to be able to crack wise. They did specifically make him a jokester because the idea was originally to put him into the newspaper strips.
Right.
And a lot of the newspaper strips, they had the adventure ones, but most of the popular ones were comedy strips. Right. And so that's why Superman's kind of a jokester out of the gate. But
okay,
I don't know. Regardless, we want to see some freaking supervillains.
Well, and the thing I also have to keep in mind is that we're looking at a character that has developed over almost 100 years. Right, we're getting closer and closer to that. So it's
according to this book, the idea, of course, we know that he comes from an alien planet. They didn't name it Krypton in the first issue. We know that.
Right.
But they don't really start to deal with the origin that we know nowadays as far as why, what happened to Krypton, meeting Jor-El and Laura and all that. None of that happens until like the 50s. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
he's around for a while before they really start.
You have a whole decade plus, maybe 2 decades of stories before anybody's like, hey, we should. Yeah.
We should check into this whole Krypton thing.
Yeah. Nobody else has done it before now. So
exactly. Yeah.
All right. So
you want to go through it?
Let's do it.
Take us through the issue.
All right. When you open the splash page, and it's a 2/3 splash page panel here, you see the car falling off the cliff, which is fairly accurate to something that happens in the story. So there is okay. So actually, it's probably about as accurate as we've gotten in a little while.
Yeah.
You can actually, I think, if I recall correctly, take this panel and put it there, and it would fit just fine. So
very much
as far as the story beats. So we open, because this first panel is not really an open; it's just an eye catcher. We open at the paper. Clark is getting an assignment to cover the arrival of Patricia Randall from her sojourns in Europe. I don't know. Patricia Randall doesn't sound like a very European name to me. Count Bergac does sound rather European. So I don't know. Maybe she's an American heiress and she travels to Europe to spend her money and she's coming back. She has department stores. She's a department store princess, kind of like a mafia princess. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah, look at how Clark describes her in that first panel.
Madcap heiress, playgirl, madcap heiress. Yeah. I'm sure Clark knows all of them, but that sounds more like Batman's alter ego.
Right. Yeah. So maybe Bruce Wayne.
Yes, Bruce Wayne. That's the kind of people Bruce Wayne would hang out with. Clark Kent, I don't think. And there's a scene that I really, really enjoy later on in the story that shows that is not how Clark Kent lives at all. So, so he gets this assignment and goes down there and is there just in time for the docking of the Balconia. I guess that's how you'd say it.
Which I first read as Bologna.
I don't think they would name the boat Bologna.
Yeah, that's why I went back for a second look.
I think you missed that one. That's
because the first thing I thought I see Bologna and I'm like, okay, I got to look at that again because I don't want to call it the Bologna during the
Yeah.
show.
Did they really name that boat Bologna?
Right.
That's yeah. Yep.
Yep.
And you have the scene here. Of course, everybody is disembarking from a 19 early 40s, 1940s luxury liner, and you've seen these scenes in the movie. They're all disembarking. They've got all the people on the dock. They've got media on the dock. They've got dock handlers handling the luggage and whatnot. So it's pretty. If this is actually a word, pretty pandemonious. There's a lot of stuff going on everywhere, and that's what I envisioned when I saw this.
Yeah.
But in the midst of that, a dude comes running from the land side of everything, approaching the Miss Randall and the Count rather aggressively. So aggressively, in fact, that when he gets close enough, he pulls out a handgun.
Dun, dun, dun.
And he is going to... It's kind of hard to say. I don't know necessarily that he truly would have just killed her right there on the dock. But he is upset enough that he pulls a gun. You find out that he is someone that has spent a lot of his life working for her, although we know that there are umpteen levels of middle management between him and her. So the question of actually working for her is pretty iffy to begin with. But she's in charge, so it's her fault. I can understand that. I say that every day about somebody that's in Washington. I don't care what it is, but it's his fault because he's president.
That's right. Buck stops with him.
Hey. And actually it has nothing to do with Trump. I'll go ahead and say that I am not a fan, but I have said that about presidents forever. It's like, whether they know anything about it or not, I don't know, but they're the head cheese. It's their fault. Sorry, take it up with the president. And so you have back and forth. You find out that he's a disgruntled employee, and he has been fired or he lost his job. One or the other. Family is in tough times. Pretty typical for early 40s. Just economic, things here in the U.S. to begin with.
Yeah, and the phrase he uses is that he was let out.
I'm not familiar with it being put that way. Yeah.
Ultimately, that'd be fired, but it sounds more like a layoff type of situation.
Right.
Right.
Like
they just had to let some people go because for cost cutting measures or something.
Or as companies I've noticed here since I've been an adult, they like to tell people that they have been furloughed, which gives the impression, when things right a little bit more, we'll hire you back. No, they won't. No, they have fired you, and they don't want. And maybe it also helps with whatever compensation you're owed and whatever stuff like that by using the word furlough rather than fired or whatever. So
and they no longer call it downsizing; it's right sizing.
Right size. Oh, with an RIGHT, right.
Right. Sizing. So when the production is low, when work is low, that's where they're supposed to be. That's why we right size down to that. When we get busy, we'll hire some more people. We'll go above what we're supposed to be at.
And I guess that would be upsizing or I don't know, wrong sizing. It's what's the opposite of right sizing, because hiring.
Right. My favorite corporate term, which is not a real corporate term, it's a something that somebody wrote as a mockery of a corporate term, is instead of being fired, we're freeing up your future.
That's how the letter would read. Because what is it? I see a lot of times in sports, we have chosen to go in a different direction.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
It's like, so one or the other of you didn't want to win, and that's why you were still there. But now that you want to win, you've decided to split. It's like,
that's right.
What direction is there but win? You're a sports franchise.
The direction is that the coaches and the owner thinks that their direction is this player sucks, and the player's direction is no, I don't.
No, I don't. Yeah, you suck. Yeah. So, gentleman rushes up, disgruntled. Clark is the one who stops him ultimately,
right?
which is completely I think, out of character for what Clark, although it has been happening more here as we have been reading. Well, he has times that he still will be that long-standing milksop kind of character.
Yeah.
But there have been flashes I've noticed of him doing the right thing rather than either hiding it or not doing anything at all or what have you. He was the person that interceded or intervened in situations, whereas recently to this, that never happened. He would accidentally maybe do something, or he would just be witness to somebody else that would have the cojones to do something, and he would maybe help them or something like that, But here, he very aggressively stops the man. Now, you see the firearm going off. I don't know that it would have gone off on it. I'm not convinced that the dude was really going to do this. Maybe that's me just trying to be more positive. But
now the narration box says, as the little man fires, Clark leaps in and knocks up.
Well, maybe he was firing at Clark because Clark was attacking him.
Maybe. Who knows?
Regardless, Clark subdues him, disarms him. Police perp march Mr. Walters off.
Literally gives him an uppercut to the bottom of his jaw. Crack.
Yes.
I broke a few teeth.
Very aggressive Clark Kent here.
The book I was referring to earlier, whose author I can't remember. I'll have to have my virtual assistant Alice put that in right now. But he pointed out in Action Comics #1, Clark is supposed to be this coward, this milksop, blah 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 blah. But the first few times you see him, he's like bragging to the chief about how great of a journalist he is. He seems to be not that character at all until Lois Lane enters the comic. And then,
this is true.
So,
yeah. They toned it down. He was a very masculine, macho character.
But it's the same issue. It's like a few panels later, he's back at the Daily Planet with Lois, and he's like,
he retracts because that's what women at the time wanted, or who knows?
She didn't want it. She didn't want it. She thought he was a loser.
Yep. We see Clark's first interaction with Patricia. She is thanking him for stopping the lunatic here that was going to kill her or whatever. He arranges an interview for a little bit later on, which is the entire reason why he's there. He got an assignment to interview the department store heiress as she arrived back from her sojourn. So ultimately now we have gone a full page, and this is why Clark Kent was even there. He goes back to the Daily Planet, but he doesn't have a story yet. And editor starts getting on him here. Perry starts giving him some grief. It's like, well, I sent you. And I have to side with Clark. I'm like, dog, all this shit happened. Did you see what happened? I told you what happened. Well, yeah, but that's not the story you were supposed to get. I didn't have time to do both. I got you this story of this crazy dude. And yeah.
He didn't. But the thing is though, he didn't even give him that story.
No,
That's
you're right.
He didn't. Off about it. It's like he comes back with no story at all. And I love Perry is just really aggressive in this issue. And because Clark tells him, sorry, Perry, there wasn't much worth writing about. And Perry says, oh, there wasn't a strange, but every other newspaper in town has headlined your rescue of the Randall cow.
Yeah, there you go.
What's the deal? He says, what's the deal? In bold letters, he screams that at him. Yep. And then Clark's was like, oh my gosh, I plumb forgot.
Okay. Yeah. So Clark goes back to the mansion to get the interview that he kind of had set up, which is, kind of what he was not kind of, but that's what he was supposed to do. But when he gets there, she has already been and gone. She has left. She has a meeting with the higher ups at the department store for I guess all of the department stores, and they meet at the local one. I don't know. Yeah. I can't imagine all of the department stores she has are in Metropolis. I would think of this as like the home offices and department store. So
probably like the first one, and so
yeah,
that's where
yeah. So essentially, she's going to meet with the board.
Yep.
Yeah, here it is. It is actually the board of directors. So she's in there meeting. She wants to make some changes because spurred on probably by her own feelings, but also by the fact that she was just confronted with perhaps something that she wasn't aware of. And that is that people work for the department store have been being fired, released, let go, furloughed, let out, whatever word, And so she wants to, in good conscience, make some changes, or at the very least find out why, she's not been overly hands-on, but she tells them that, she wants to get a little bit more, not in a sexy way, but handsy with what is going on at the department. She wants to play more a part. So Count Bergac, though, he's at first you see he's kind of taken away by her demeanor. I thought not taken away, but he's surprised, aback, by her demeanor. And so she comes in, makes these pronouncements to the board, and then leaves. Bergac just kind of watches it all happen, and then after she's left, he steps in and he tells the board that if you could get more your way, without having to worry about her, especially now that she's kind of changed her tune, what would that be worth to you? How big a deal would that be? And they come to an agreement that he will handle her, Bergac will, in such a way that the board gets their way in things. And Bergac feels that that's worth $100,000 a year. You pay me this $100,000 and I'll take care of your female problem, essentially, is what he's saying. In the early 40s, $100,000 a year would have had to have been
a lot of money.
That's a mint. I mean, dude is sitting pretty. On top of the fact that, however he has done it, he's going to control the heiress of a huge department store. So of course he's going to reap the benefits of that financially or fiscally also, on top of getting a stipend, in essence, from the department store itself. So dude he's setting himself up. I have a dinner date with Miss Randall tonight. She'll accept my proposal. So he's going to marry her. And as the husband, he'll be able to control the woman.
Yeah, that's just how easy it's going to be, because once he's the man in the relationship, he will take over because she's the woman.
I have been in multiple of those, and it has not worked out that way yet. So I think at this point in my personal life, I question that that's really how it works.
Well, you didn't live in the 40s.
So, okay.
I mean, we know with hindsight that it doesn't work out that way for him either, but for a completely
reason. But right now he is approaching my age, I would say, by looking at him, and he still thinks that that's how it, even in the 40s, I'm like, I bet in your walls that's not how it works. Outside your walls, maybe it does, but inside the walls,
like, all I got to do is marry her. And he, not only is he's going to propose to her tonight, and he's going to marry her tonight. That's
and she's going to accept. And he's going to marry her.
Obviously, she's going to accept, and then that's all he's got to do, and then he's going to be sitting pretty.
Right, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
Does it ever come up? Did she meet him there, wherever there was, or did they meet here and go on the trip and come back?
I don't think it ever comes up. I'm assuming she met him there, but I don't know, because he's local. We find out, so who knows? Yeah.
So it's not necessarily important to the story, but it's just one of those things that's like,
he could have just been on the boat. Maybe one of the things he does is he gets on these boats and travels there and travels back to pretend that he's coming back.
He finds the victim that he's going to run his scam on. So now, while he was telling the board this and setting these things up, of course, Clark, via the Superman hearing, heard this. So now he's privy that maybe this Bergac isn't the goodest, to really butcher the language, of dudes. So now he's going to have to watch him, because he's kind of soft on Ms. Randall, particularly now that he finds out that the man that she is with is going to do her this way. So,
and we learn of a new superpower. I'm saying this tongue in cheek because, you know, he has great strength, great speed, and now he has the greatest of willpower because it's the only thing preventing him from planting his foot squarely in the seat of Count Bergac's pants.
Yeah, there you go. Super willpower. That's you know, we'll add it to the list. It may come up again. Okay. Later that evening, we see Clark changing into roughly changing into Superman. Again, a little bit later, there's an excellent scene for me of Clark Kent that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
Patricia is all dolled up. She meets Bergac, and they take off to go to what did he say? It was a dinner. So they're going to a dinner date. He's made a reservation. As the two drive off in a fast roadster, not a slow one. You need to know this is a fast roadster. Yes. A third uninvited guest follows overhead, Superman. I wonder if it's even her car.
I don't know.
You know, because he's majorly leaning on her. So I wonder if everything that he has of substance basically is.
I bet it is her car.
He's borrowing from her. Yeah. So the two of the next three panels are just, well, one of them in particular is just, he's done this before and I still don't believe how it happens, but he follows and flies behind and underneath the car to catch a ride, why he has to catch a ride at this point, I do not know, because he can fly, he can follow them. So it doesn't matter. He's not going to lose them.
Yeah, but it was fun to see because this is like the third or fourth time he's done this. And whenever they draw him doing this, regardless of the artist, it looks ridiculous.
Yes.
You just can't imagine how he could have accomplished that in any way. He just jumps up into the air and somehow dives under the car. In this case, we could just put it up to he flew under the car, because there's no question in this book. If there was any question before, there's no question in the story that he's flying. There's just none whatsoever. But
for those of you that watch the video of our recording, the second panel at the top here is the scene of him. You know, you see his legs and his cape flopping from underneath the back of the car, which obviously means that's how he got under the car. And I'm like, you know, I don't know. You really have to suspend quite a large knowledge of physics to believe that this. Yeah. So,
well, and it even gets more ridiculous when you get to the next panel.
He, maybe yes. Maybe. Now this does have, I thought, a little bit of physics behind it. He starts doing the luge move. If you've ever watched Winter Olympics, this is what the lugists do, because they're laying on the sled. So they will use their knuckles that actually, I believe, the gloves have spikes on them too to help them dig in, to propel the sled, right, to get up speed before they start going downhill. Well, Superman does this underneath with the car with his super fingers. Of course, he claws into the pavement multiple times to get the car going faster than what it really, what the accelerator is telling the car to do. So, which does it work that way? I don't know if the car could be made actually to do that, because that's what the whole cruise control kind of thing does now. I know going downhill it will speed up, but it will only speed up to a certain point.
Yeah.
So
I just find it ridiculous that Superman's big plan here is to make her not like him.
Right. Make Bergac look bad.
Yeah.
So
make him look bad.
Yeah.
And so the first thing he does is make it look like he drives fast.
Drives too fast. Yeah. That's, as you know, it's
it
right
works.
out, as they would say on Monty Python. That's
exactly.
And that's for you, Stephen. We don't get very many Monty Python references in the show. We should.
No, I hold them in for all of you.
That is right out.
Right out.
So, and she's looking at him. You know, she's. We have a couple scenes here where she realizes they're going really fast, presumably in her car. So she's like, "Can keep it up and you'll break the speedometer. When you drive like this, you certainly don't impress me as being calm, steady, and sensible, which I guess in order to be with her, that's what she requires in a man.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't even say fiance because he's not asked her yet. So they're not at that level. I can't understand it, I tell you, is his only defense. It's like, well,
yeah. He doesn't even try to
foot dog.
Yeah. It's like my foot's not even on the gas. You know?
Yeah. And they're going to the Golden Spiral for dinner, which is I think that's a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
And of course she can't probably get out of the car fast enough, get her feet on the ground, because she was very much distressed by the speed of the car. She's upset. There's nothing he can do at this point to assuage any of that upsetness. So they go on inside. In the darkened nightclub, as Patricia watches the floor show, Count Bergac slips a ring case from his pocket. So here we go. And Superman from somewhere outside, I guess he's using X-ray vision. We don't really know. Sees, he's keeping an eye, pun intended, not intended, whichever, on Randall and Bergac to see what they're doing. And he sees Bergac's fiddling around. So he goes higher up in the building and slips into a window like a thief would. Superman, and he's figuring out what he's going to do. So he gets down to the restaurant floor and he zooms by Bergac. Bergac. Yeah, I don't know where Bergac came from. Yeah, Bergac zooms by him so quickly that even we can't see him. We just see speed lines that the artist has used with Bergac, and that's it. But shortly after, Bergac feels a powerful breeze fan his face. The narrator tells us, "Wonder what caused that wind," he says out loud. So something happened. And, if you're just reading this, I don't necessarily know that you would have put two and two together with what that was. I mean, it's something obviously, but nothing really tells us what's going on. Bergac gets the ring case out of his pocket and he hands it to Randall. What is her first name? Patricia. She opens it up and there's no ring in there. Okay. Now, I bet that is what happened. Sure enough, because we get to the next panel, which is stupid. We get to the next panel, and Superman did get the ring. So he was the wind. He must have, and how he do this, I would think there would have to be two winds, because if he'd have stopped to do something, Randall would have seen him. Or not Randall, Bergac would have seen him. So he must have wished by to get the ring case and wished back by to put the ring case back. In between having extracted it, because anyways, that's what's in my head. What do they call that? Headcanon? That's my headcanon. Now, we find out that that's what happened because Superman is sitting holding the ring in a light fixture in the room that nobody realizes that there's a dude sitting in the light fixture, or one of the light fixtures hanging in the,
nobody,
and we can see, we see dinner people down below, a couple of them. So,
you wouldn't even have to look up. You'd see it out of your peripherals. You'd notice something strange up there out of your peripherals.
At the other side of the room.
Definitely.
Of course, directly below. No, because I know usually when I go out to eat, I don't eat,
right.
But looking out across the room, depending on how big the room is, you've got to see him over there. Yeah. So now, to distract us from the fact that Superman is sitting in the chandelier, the next several panels, but this next panel has to be one of the most the drawing of this woman at the restaurant does not look like necessarily what the artist did. Something happened. I'm trying to be really kind. I could just say it, and I don't want to say it, but
if you look at the face and the head and the shoulders, it does look like he started to draw a man and then realized, oh wait, this is supposed to be a woman.
Right. Just threw some straps on and a dress. And
it's more obvious on the next page. There's a one panel on the next page where we get her in profile. It's that first panel. I
Her
mean,
back and shoulders.
Oh my God. The way that the straps are drawn look like hair on her back.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not sure. This woman, in order to have been of this body type, would have had to truly been a female power lifter. And I don't know that they really existed in the 40s. They might have. I'm not, I don't know. But this reminds me of some of the female wrestlers that I watch today on TV. This body shape in this woman. It is not it is not as femininely drawn as any of the other women that appear in this strip. But she shows up because all of a sudden she went to, something happened. I guess she went to clutch her pearls.
Right.
Yeah.
They
were gone. Yeah. They were gone. Maybe she did see Superman and they were gone. So, she raises the complaint. I came in here with something. I don't have it now. Somebody in this room took it. So there's fuss and everybody starts looking around at what's going on. Superman is watching all of this from his high perch in one of the chandeliers. We don't get the indication of what exactly has happened, but we will here shortly with the pearls. I don't think.
Yeah, because
this is too good.
The guy she complains to. Obviously,
this is weird. Okay.
Yeah, and he suggests, well, obviously whoever took him is still in the room, so let's search everybody.
And they search and they do find the pearls on Bergac. Yeah. So I guess when he was wishing around, he took her pearls and dumped them in Bergac's pocket with the empty ring case.
Yep.
Which, nice ring. Too bad it doesn't fit. That's what Superman says. I guess he's got big fingers. We know what that means. Yeah, it means he's got big fingers.
It's hard to find gloves. That's all.
You're right. That's what it means. Stolen this room. Yeah, I mean, it had to have been Superman. Does he actually come out and say it anywhere?
I don't think he does, but to me, it's obvious it's him. I can't imagine Bergac.
No,
we know he's a criminal, right? But I can't imagine Bergac taking the time during this long con that he's working on to just steal this old lady's pearls. Just
for something else that might disrupt his current plans. Go ahead.
That's William Dahlstead. I think that's Bill from Long Island over on the Blue Sky. He says, Soups framed someone? Damn.
Yeah, no
doubt. That's exactly it.
That's exactly what he did, man.
Framed somebody. But it's a bad guy, so it's okay.
Yeah. So now, once exposed, the owner, we'll say that way, the owner of the pearls gets aggressive and to keep things, because she would have just trounced Bergac if they'd have got into any fisticuffs. She would have trashed him easily. The maitre d' for the restaurant says, it's probably best that you go. So
she looks like a heavyweight boxer in a dress.
It's got to be a dude that
it's one thing we all know. We're not trying to body shame anyone.
No, not at all.
Big people exist. Obviously, I'm one of them. I'm a big round man, but maybe Leo Nowak wasn't quite. Maybe he's never had the opportunity to draw an older, full-figured lady, and so. He drew as a boxer.
It's bad. Yeah, it just really is bad.
I mean, first of all, this panel right here, this first panel on what is this, page 7, or page 7 of the story. Look at her nose. First of all, looks like it's been broken at some point.
Yeah, she's got that mafia tough nose. She's got short cropped hair everywhere. In the back, the sides, the bangs, it's all, so it's a very masculine looking cut. Yeah. I don't mean that in a mean way.
Right. It's like why he chose to draw, if it's a regular, normal, whatever's normal, quote, figured woman, he draws them slink and sexy and beautiful, but then
Right.
he's got to
All
draw
these other
one
women.
older overweight
woman.
woman, and
Yeah.
she becomes frickin' the dude from Taxi or Running Bull or whatever that
it's like
Robert De Niro movie is.
Dog, what happened here?
Raging Bull.
She does not look like any of the other females he has drawn in this strip.
Yeah,
at all.
I mean, if I was Bergac, to me, as she's pointing to him, you stole my pearls, you thief. He looks like he's like, oh shit, she's gonna punch me. She's gonna kick my ass, and she can do it too.
She could have. Yeah, look at that.
He looks afraid.
So Patricia now she's completely humiliated with the pearls and this confrontation with the woman. She's already upset. Well, not just the pearls, but the ring. Oh, it's a joke. Oh, look, and the speeding to get there. So she's kind of had it with Bergac. They go back out to the car. Someone must have placed those pearls in my pocket, he says. Duh. I've never been so humiliated in my life. Drive me home at once. And he thinks to himself, I'm in Pat's bad graces. Unless I can think of something at once, I may be passing up riches. Wait, I've an inspiration. Yeah, and it's a bad inspiration.
It's so stupid.
What he does is on the way home, he purposefully, this time, speeds. And he tells Pat that if you don't, to marry, if you don't agree, which is funny, he didn't even actually propose because the ring wasn't there So anyways, if you don't marry me, I'm going to drive us right off the cliff.
It's always the good step to a good marriage.
Right. That's who I want to marry. The woman who says she is going to commit suicide and take me with her.
Yeah.
I'll marry her to keep that from happening. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because there's obviously going to be nothing but happiness in their future after that.
It's all uphill from there, baby.
That's right.
That's yeah. So they're speeding, and all of a sudden he realizes, I guess what we are meant to believe is that the brakes malfunctioned, which was unexpected. I don't think Superman, although climbing around underneath the car, he very well could have done something and not realized it.
Yep.
But I think we are left to believe that in doing this, his plan is foiled by the fact that the brakes actually malfunctioned. So now he actually is going to drive himself and Patricia off a cliff in their roadster. Well, as they get to the cliff, he comes up with the idea that I'm going to bail. If she dies, it's okay. It'll be my own Chappaquiddick. I'll play it off and, no big deal, but I'll be alive. So he bails out of the car, lets the car go off the edge of the mountain. And it's, of course, the stereotypical curve in the road on the side of the mountain. And they go through the guardrail. Now this is the scene that was the splash partial page, the splash panel at the beginning of the story. Would have fit in here, actually in this next panel very well, because Superman has been following them from the opposite direction. I don't know how that works. He flew over the mountain. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. And sees the car go off the edge with Patricia still in it. So jumping up, not jumping up. He flies. He can fly.
Totally.
He catches the car. And it's funny in this panel where he catches the car, it looks like he's standing. Looks like he's lifted the car or something. Gets the car, takes it back, sets it down somewhere, on the road or down at the bottom of the mountain, whatever. Doesn't matter specifically. There you are. Service plus, he tells her.
Like AAA.
Wait, I want to talk to you. I know who you are. Which when I first read that, I was like, what? Oh, right? You're Superman. But it's like, okay. You know he's Superman. Okay. You'd better look after your boyfriend, the Count, if he hasn't run halfway back to town by now. So actually, I guess in all of this stuff with the car, it is still, it didn't damage the car any because she drives it back to town or drives it on to her house. That's where they were going to begin with.
So he must have mended her brake lines.
That's true. that I guess with his vision that we don't really have yet. I don't know. Maybe he just tied it like a bow tie. He took the two sides. I don't know. But yeah, he must have fixed her bricks.
He super tied it.
Yep. Because of course Superman wouldn't let her go drive the car with bad brakes.
No. Yeah.
So he had to have done something.
His S shield here on this third panel, it looks like it's really close to what we see nowadays.
Mm-hmm. You're right. So Patricia runs into, again, no pun intended, Bergac walking. Now, I thought this was funny too. These two panels. She's driving, runs into Bergac. Bergac's driving. She gets out of the car. I'm like, something,
Well, he's the guy. He's like, all right, well, you're not going to drive me.
No, it's like I just saved you. You were going to kill me. We don't have any brakes, and I'm going to let you drive my car back the rest of the way to the house. Yeah,
because you're the man, and the man should drive the woman.
I guess, yeah.
Silly.
So they get there, and Superman is apparently, when he left, he went on ahead to her house, and he's kind of waiting, and he sees that she's gets out of the car. What does she tell him? This little incident has shown me what a low-down worm you are. I never want to see you again, Superman says. Peeping Tom, Superman says. Music to my ears. He's doing that a lot. Superman is like a mega voyeur in this strip. Every time you turn around, he's watching her. Yeah. So that evening, a very self-satisfied Clark Kent, retires into the arms of Morpheus. It's been a busy day, but I've got to admit I didn't do so badly. Just all of that is just kind of cringy.
Yeah, especially since I love that he's just like, I just kicked ass today, and that is, as far as we're concerned, that could be the end of the story, right? As far as he's concerned, story's over.
It is the end of the story. Yeah.
He looks so happy. He's like, you're awesome, Clark Kent. You're the man.
The image we didn't see is him speaking affirmations in his mirror as he was brushing his teeth before getting in bed.
You did it today, Clark. You did it. You're the man.
You're the man.
The Superman. And then he flexes.
And let me say, not that there's anything wrong with personal affirmations. If that's what people do, that's fine. Yeah.
Bill says that Clark is sweet on Pat and is eliminating the competition.
Well, where have we seen Lois to divert his attention in this story?
That's
right. The more time he spends, the more infatuated with her he could be getting. I mean,
very much.
Getting rid of the current boyfriend. He's like, I'm just going to step right in there. And
this is my favorite scene in the entire book.
Next day goes to work, back to the paper. Perry tells him, I presume that by this time you've gotten around to writing that interview with Miss Randall. Here it is, all about the breakup between the Count and Patricia. Clark hands it to, so he was ready. Well, what do you think of it? He asked Perry. Perry says, I'll demonstrate in a manner stronger than words can possibly convey. And he shreds the story up and throws it in the trash can. Literally. We see two sets of hands. Who is that?
Bill
That's
says
William Kryptonians have name. That's for the Superman Super Show After Dark. We'll talk about that one.
Come 1986, they won't have those needs anymore. John Byrne put an end to that because he made them all sterile and robot-like.
Is that okay? That's what. Okay, yeah.
Putting the baby in the birthing matrix, and
that's true. Yeah. That's not how they reproduce anymore. They do it on a microscope or on a slide.
Perry White should be glad that HR wasn't really a thing back then, I guess, because you can't just take somebody's work that they turn in and rip it to shreds in front of them.
Why not? It's not what I asked for.
Well, yes. But there are right here. There are better ways to tell your personality.
Yeah. And Perry has a competitor's paper, and he grabs it and he's shoving it and very aggressively. This is just, all of this has just been a very aggressive strip, man.
It has.
I'm not sure what the artist and or writer, what they encountered in their personal life before sitting down to make this, but everybody is just the return. Everybody is just really aggressive in this strip. Perry, he grabs a competing paper and he shoves it in Clark's face. And now, numbskull, read the headlines of the rival newspapers. And Clark says, huh? And this paper that he's looking at says, the Count and Pat were married last night. But that's impossible, he says. As far as he knows. He saw they argue. Right. He saw Dude stay in the car. He saw Pat go in her house. He went home to congratulate himself. Again, Superman Super Show After Dark. We'll talk about that. And he wakes up the next day all happy and fulfilled to find out what you saw is not what you thought you saw. Or so you thought. So now he grabs his hat and he's writing, impossible. Or Perry says, impossible, eh? There's your A, Steven.
Hey, there's at least 3 of them in this story.
Well, go out and please get me a story that's impossible, or so help me, you're as good as fired right now. Perry's saying that to Clark, man. Good grief. Right. And Clark grabs his hat on and I'm going as he's out the door. Maybe that's why there is no Lois in the story, because she could have been that buffer between them to kind of ease things. But yeah. Yep. Clark nears the Randall mansion. There's Patricia emerging from her home with the Count. It's hard to believe, but my eyes aren't deceiving me, because they're walking out of the house arm in arm, in essence. Clark waits for the heiress to speak as he's standing there and they're walking by. But instead, she walks past him without a word of greeting, as if she doesn't even know him, is what we're led to believe. I don't get it. Did she fail to recognize me, or was she just downright snooty?
Downright snooty.
So here Clark says something to get her attention, excuse me. That's not what he says, but in essence, that's what he does. And she turns and says, who is, there's only the 3 of them. Okay. So I don't know if she is saying this to Clark to be snotty about it, or if she is saying this to Bergac to get an answer. But Randall actually says, who is this presumptuous person? And Bergac does respond, don't you recall he's the reporter who saved your life? Oh, yes, I recall now. Well, I'm sorry, my good fellow, but I can't give you an interview right now. Some other time, perhaps. And Clark says, say, what is this? And Bergac's like, and now if you'll excuse us, as he's in the car driving away. Next panel is an interesting angle I don't think we've ever seen before. Clark is driving behind them, pursuing them. And the angle is from the bottom of the steering wheel at the dashboard, looking up underneath the steering wheel, up at Clark as he's sitting driving. A very interesting perspective, I think. The details, maybe, they could be whatever, but the camera angle, a very creative camera angle, just as, Clark is he thinking? I guess he's thinking to himself, because it's got a lot of bubbles on it instead of just surrounding the words. So I guess he's thinking. And so, you have that inner monologue of the character with this kind of camera angle. Very, very cinematic, I thought. Yeah. All of a sudden, everything else to me, the camera angles just look like what I have come to expect reading these comics. But all of a sudden, this one is thrown in there, and I'm like, wow, that took a second to come up with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Clark's perplexity, for those of you that are keeping track of like the $10 words in comic books, increases even more when his telescopic X-ray vision enables him to eavesdrop upon. So he can see them and understand what they're saying.
Yeah, it's like if they just would have added telescopic X-ray vision and super hearing, because we know he has super hearing.
Yeah, something. Yeah, because although, okay, this is Superman employing his super lip reading.
I guess
it's an extension of the super willpower. So
yeah, yes,
it's Yeah, because you really have to focus to lip read. So it
Right.
is concentration, willpower. So
Just
we'll say it's a corollary to super willpower is super lip reading.
Yeah, he's just showing off at this point then, because
It is, yeah.
he's like, well, I mean, I could use my super hearing to hear what they're saying, but
I'll just look
that's
at
not
them
a
and tell.
challenge. Yeah, I'll just.
So now what has happened is they have gone back to the department store, Bergac and Randall, and this time Randall is conceding any control that she might have had to Bergac in front of the board of directors for the department stores. So Bergac's deal that he attempted to make with the board of directors earlier in the story is actually coming to fruition now, with her acceding her rights to him, in that, we're married and he's my husband. Yeah, that is so sickening, but okay. Okay, it's so sickening unless that's how you want the relationship to be, and if you do, that's perfectly fine. Whatever. It's not up to me to say. What is up to me to say is that the assumption that that's how things are going to be is a bad assumption.
Yeah, because I bet 90% of the time it's not what the woman would necessarily want.
Right.
Or 50 to 60%, 70% of the time, yeah.
More than, all men should be, yeah. So, but as the newly married couple drives off, Clark gets his greatest surprise. He's watching and he sees that she takes off her blonde wig.
Whoa.
Long blonde tresses, and she has shortcut, we'll say brown hair instead. And it does actually change the way her face looks a little bit too. So if just removing the wig wasn't enough to tell you this is not her, the artist decided to draw, I thought, her face a little differently as well, so that the two together, no long blonde hair, short brown hair, and the differently drawn face, it's close, but it doesn't quite look like the girl that we've been following, Patricia Randall.
It makes me think I've been watching the old G.I. Joe Real American Hero cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
There was an episode where Cobra breaks into like a facility that prints money. Okay. And it's like a bunch of Cobra troopers disguise themselves as regular people, and they go in as part of the tour. And when they get to the room where the actual printing is done, they reveal themselves to be Cobra, and like they all rip off their masks and they're wearing their Cobra helmets underneath.
Under the mask. Okay, cool.
They got their little black masks that they always have, but their big helmets, they just, and there was another episode where the Baroness is in disguise as a man, like this kind of slightly overweight, nerdy kind of guy. And when she rips her mask off, suddenly the body type just instantly transforms into a woman. Okay. It's so
glasses, stupid. Long black hair.
Yeah, and it's so dumb.
Wow.
It's so dumb. But we loved that as a kid. So
absolutely. And I hear tell that Steeven is doing a new podcast, maybe themed with what he has just spoken on. Perhaps maybe not the exact media, but the theme is very similar.
Yeah. By the time this episode, already the 0 episode's out. So
right.
Yeah, but by the time this episode comes out, people are listening to it. At least episode 1 will be out as well. For those of you watching live, if you're a member of Steven or Else Beyond, episode 1 lands tomorrow.
That episode 0 was just like a teaser trailer, though. It's you can't take anything away from that.
It was not. It's an amazing historical.
It was a true trailer. Oh, okay, it's not even a trailer. It's a 0 episode.
It's a 0 episode. It's called an incredibly long, brief history of G.I. Joe comics.
Okay, there we go. For those of you that need to be teased, looking forward to Joe, said William Dahlstead, 9515.
Yay.
So now Clark sees that something way fishy is going on, because this is not Patricia, who just acceded her rights to govern the department store to Bergac. Bergac is Bergac as far as he knows, but this is not Patricia. So I'm going to run over here to this alley, and I'm going to I'm going to set my hat on a big crate. I'm going to set my glasses on the crate. I'm going to rip my tie, and I'd maybe just take the shirt off. But he was nice and neat, essentially, with the hat and glasses. Doesn't give a damn about that tie and the shirt. He probably saved on the shirt because those are pretty expensive. So he's changes into Superman. Flies on ahead to her house, beats him to her house. He is peeping Tomming once again, peeping Tomming, if that's a word. She's donned the disguise again, but now that I'm aware of what's going on, I can detect telltale differences in the girl's appearance. Now, this Superman says out loud. I don't know why he says it. There's nobody there to hear. He could have just benefit. He could have just thought it.
Well, even then, it's not even for our benefit. Who cares?
Yeah, so.
That's a wasted panel. Based on how these next 3 pages line up, that
could have done.
You could have done something with that panel.
Something different with that space.
Who cares that he can suddenly see that she's? It has nothing to do with the outcome of the story. It's nothing to do with. There's not a moment after this where he's like, could that be her, or could that be actually Patricia? Well, I noticed the telltale sign.
It's a good thing I was watching from up on top of the house, and
it's like good thing I'm a peeping Tom.
So so
hey kids, spying on women will only save the day.
It'll only make you a hero. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
So Patricia, they get inside, and here we full out get this young lady, who doesn't give her name, but she does let us know that Ricky Hanlon is Count Bergac's real name. That doesn't sound overly European to me. If that's where the ship came from. Now I'm assuming, and I could be wrong.
I think it was.
But a ship like that coming from Louisiana or just coming down from New Jersey to, well, actually, I guess it would almost be a cross from New Jersey to New York, assuming that Metropolis is New York, which is kind of a big assumption. But I mean, come on. Gotham is New York also. How is Metropolis and Gotham both New York?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's because Star City was already used, so they couldn't call it Star City or Opal City or So she tells us once and for all, we find out that Bergac is not a Bergac. He is a Hanlon, first name Ricky. We know because of the hair that this is not Patricia Randall. She is somebody else. We don't know yet. Yeah. So Superman jumps in the window having heard this, and he grabs up Bergac and gives him a big face slam on, I'm going to assume, a table, breaking the table. Much like today's wrestlers do in a table match, when the body hits that table, boy, it just trashes.
Yeah.
That's what Superman did with Bergac's face. Instead of any kind of body slam to do it, he did it with his face, and he broke the table. And then he picks him up. Bergac looks like he's in pretty fine shape, considering he just did a face.
Blood,
cut,
spraying from his nose.
If he was a good wrestler, he would have cut up here in the hairline, and it would have just run all over his face. But
but he broke his nose at the very least.
You would think. What have you done with Patricia? Nothing. I don't know what you're talking about, says Bergac. So Superman's like, okay. So he grabs him up, flies out the window, and goes up and up and up and up and up until Bergac says, man, it's cold up here. Superman says, and the only way this could happen is if he could fly, because if he jumped, he would fall. But here he says, we're going to remain up here a long, long time. That is, unless you feel like talking. That is only possible if Superman can control, and if he can control, then he can fly. That is, Yeah,
that's why I was saying at the beginning, there's no doubt anymore at this point.
No, not at all. And they have kind of gotten away from Izzy Duzzy too. I mean, it's not, they don't try to hide anything or anything. Right. They just draw it the way they want to draw it, and they leave it up to us to suppose that he's jumping, he's flying, he's whatever. Yep. So Bergac, or what's his name, Hanlon, starts to get cold and finally talks. I hired some guys to get rid of Pat because as long as she lived, she might mess up my schemes. Yeah, pretty standard. Yeah. They'll take her out over the ocean in a plane, and at the proper moment, we'll throw her out. Now that seems pretty extended kind of way to take care of somebody.
I know. Yeah.
The cold-blooded killer, you ought to feel right at home up here in this chilly atmosphere. Wow, burn. Is that what the kids say? Or maybe the kids say sick burn is what. Yeah,
snap. That's what I say.
Anyways, we switch to you can't really tell. To me, it looks maybe almost like a train car as opposed to a plane. But dude is trying to force Pat out the opening with somebody holding her from the other side, and you can't really see them. So a couple dudes are trying to force her through this doorway to something. Superman is flying up with Hanlon, and the next panel we see that she is falling through the air. You can't necessarily see that she was thrown out of an airplane per se. You see something up here. It's just not really well defined. Well, I take that back. The panel here where Superman is flying with Hanlon, up in the corner, you can see probably a plane. That's a little iffy. Pat falling, Superman grabs her, and the only thing she can think to say is "you" again. She doesn't say thank you. Oh, I've been rescued, or no. She's free falling completely. He snatches her, and she says "you again."
You again.
Wow, she is chill. That's just all there is to it. She got upset for dude for driving too fast, but somebody saves her from plummeting to the ground, and she says "you again." That's wow. But we haven't a chance. Look, they've seen us from within the plane. They're swooping toward us, firing machine guns. So I don't know what kind of plane this is, but now they're firing on Superman, flying, holding Patricia and Hanlon. Excuse me. Ultimately, the plane pursues them, but as they reach a mountainside at the water's edge, the pilot miscalculates the sky vessel. Why didn't they call it an airplane? The sky vessel crashes into the mountain. Superman says they brought it upon themselves. Patricia says it's totally destroyed.
So that one panel is what makes me feel like, oh shit, I got to finish up this story. How am I going to take these guys out? First of all, let's look at the second to the last panel. I love that they've drawn the cape almost wrapped around Superman's head.
Swishing. Yeah.
I love that. You don't see that kind of stuff nowadays. The cape out when he's flying, when the wind's whipping by him, it always goes where the artist wants it to go. Right?
Yeah, the cape is out of the way wherever they draw. Yeah.
And they do it again in the next page. They got it wrapped around almost her head. But I like that. But this is what I was talking about earlier when I said they kind of just condense the ending so much, because this would have been a good exciting scene if it was 2 pages long, right? 2 pages of him rescuing her, the airplane chasing them, firing at them. We'd get more than just barely a bit of that airplane in the corner of that second to the last panel.
Right.
It just drives me crazy when we're reading a story from a visual medium and they're telling us all this great, exciting stuff that's happening, but we're not seeing it. It just drives me nuts.
Yeah. They don't use the visual medium. Yeah.
There is here goes another Monty Python reference. There is a Monty Python sketch where it's kind of a in between. It's one of those linking sketches where it's just supposed to be the BBC announcer showing the Earth turning, and the BBC announcer is talking about what's coming up next, and he ends up just describing no, that's not what it was. It was a sketch where they kind of have to pull away and describe the action because it was too expensive to show.
Okay.
And so they're like, if you could see this, it's so amazing and all this stuff. And it's like, that's what that makes me think of, because we could see it. All you have to do is draw it.
Yep. And also I'm not sure how many people out there know this, but back in the misty beginnings of podcast land for Steven, he had a Monty Python forum board.
Pythonland.com.
That he was the director, editor, what have you of.
Admin, yeah.
And that was actually one of the first places that I interacted with Steven was on that
nice.
board, because I had heard an episode or two of the podcast and then heard you made mention of that. And I was like, oh, cool. And so I went over there and hung out and we interacted and did some stuff while I was still listening to the podcast itself. But that was, back in the good old days of when people even knew what forum boards were.
Speaking of which, I have your credit. I got your Christmas card. It's still in the post office box, but I get an email every day to tell me what's down there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw that, there's Ed's Christmas card.
Okay.
I just haven't gone down to get the mail lately. So
okay, cool beans.
Thank you for the Christmas card. Ed's always very good about sending me a Christmas card every year.
Well, the way I look at stuff like that is like, it's something that I can do. So why not?
Yeah.
That's so Superman streaks back to the heart of Metropolis with our one ne'er-do-well and his victim. And he drops them off at the police department. Because of that, we have one ne'er-do-well and one victim. And so he tells, we don't name this person, but I'm going to go ahead and assume this is Sergeant Casey, because it's always Sergeant Casey. There's a heavy police presence in the next story in the omnibus that we read, which I read just in case. Heavy police presence, Sergeant Casey everywhere. So apparently he's the only officer that Superman knows. Is more Tony HP34. Oh, cool. Another new face for today.
No, he was the first guy.
He was the first. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. The Superman is more associated with George Reeves' Superman stories. What makes you say that? That the George Reeves stories had more of a golden age feel to them, or owned them, the writing to the golden age? Why do you feel the George Reeves Superman connection there, Tony? So Patricia says that she wants to lodge a complaint against Ricky Hanlon. So has she known his real name all this time? Or?
No, he must have said something. Superman does say the name Hanlon there on that first panel.
Yeah, here, okay.
But he doesn't Ricky, but he must have told her off panel.
Huh, okay. Yeah, so she wants to press charges on, I guess, having her abducted and almost killed would be what it was. Kidnapping and, I don't know, racketeering. There's always racketeering with kidnapping. I don't know why, but, on TV, they always say those together. Superman calls in his story, right? He's got all this information. He doesn't want to wait for Clark to submit it via paper, which we saw what happened the last time he tried to do that anyway. So he phones it in, I guess, and his secretary, or we have seen this kind of thing before, and I've always wondered who the reporter talks to. Is there one person for the paper, or is there one person for them, or how it's done? But they will, if they're off and it's a quick hit, they will dictate the story via telephone in this case. And so that's what Superman Clark Kent does. We cut back. Okay, more grounded, more human, more connected, and less reliant on outer space sci-fi stories, I think. That's my opinion. I enjoyed the golden age of the serial as opposed to the later genre posts in the 80s. Okay, I definitely would agree that my impression of the stories has all of those elements as well. Now, also, I'm not sure how many of the episodes of this show that you have listened to. Steven and I are kind of jonesing for the more sci-fi kind of stories. That's, and I think a large part of that is maybe it's personal preference. For me, it's the fact that I know that that's where Superman gets to, and I enjoy that. So I want to get to that aspect of the story. I don't mind that it's not, we make reference to the lack of recurring supervillains all the time. And in essence, to me, that's what that is. That is the beginnings of that sci-fi element. It doesn't have to be space or aliens, just the high science fiction, mathematics, all of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
We're kind of again, I'm not going to speak for Steven. I'm kind of jonesing for that to start happening. And plus, I want some continuity. Continuity is my reward for reading all these stories, especially when they're kind of that's my payoff, is the reference to those things that maybe weren't that cool, but they really count because they are referenced again and again and again. So but okay, I get that. I enjoyed the Golden Age of the Sea. Yeah.
And I don't think, I think I'll speak for Ed here as well too. I don't think don't want anybody to get the impression that we don't like these Golden Age stories because there's no sci-fi. We love them. I mean, as long as these stories remain fun, yes, we're both jonesing for some good old superhero, supervillain, duke out type stuff. But as long as these just remain ridiculous and fun, we're going to keep enjoying them. They haven't gotten stale. Let's just put it that way.
No, not at all. And in along those lines, one of our favorite or most thought of stories has to do with a child torture chamber in the bottom of a house for orphans, which none of that has anything to do with sci-fi, but that was just so over the top of a street level almost kind of situation that we're like, oh yeah, that's a high point so far.
Especially since the bad guy that he goes up against in that basement was just an old man. you know? Not like an old man with super genius, or just an old man,
just a messed up old dude.
Yeah,
man.
would hit him with an anvil and stuff like that.
And Tony finishes up his thought here. Tony HP 34. Yes, you're right. The right mix and balance is good. Absolutely. William Dahlstedt 9515. The Golden Age has a ridiculous charm. It does, and I think probably honestly the best way I think to absorb and consume this Golden Age stories is you have to have a familiarity with contemporary books, contemporary stories, to be able to compare them to. It just helps. It helps understand. To me, this is what they were and this is what they are, and it gives you a place to go. If you don't like one or you don't like the other, then the opposite, whichever way you go, is where you prefer. But there's also this that's available for when you need a palate cleanser or what have you. Much the way I earlier indicated that I have been spending time reading Evil Ernie. That is not my typical kind of comic book. I just had it and I'm like, okay, let's see. I honestly had never read Evil Ernie before. I know about him and know what he is. I'm like, I'm reading them and I see why back when they were coming out, I never read them. I was right in saying, yeah, that's not my kind of comic book.
Yeah.
But there we go. Okay. So let's finish up Superman here. Randall. Patricia Randall is at the police station because she's filing a report against Hanlon. And she sees that Henry Walters gets freed. He still pulled a gun. It still went off in city limits. It's still, there's some other issues. But she is not going to press charges. And I guess unless the state does, that's all. Which I would think discharging a weapon in city limits, the state would go ahead and press those charges. But who knows? Next, Patricia performs a little task that gives her great satisfaction. She goes back to the department store, cleans house, gets rid of everybody on the board. I don't know. Let's see. That you feared I might discover your grafting activities. I'll prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. You'll be replaced by honest men. So she is going to have a board. She's going to replace all these men here. And apparently she's going to press charges for grafting.
Yeah, if she can prove it.
Did they actually do anything?
They were, I think it would be more like planning to graft.
Conspiracy to commit?
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. Back at the Daily Planet, Clark, I take back all those harsh things I said about you. You really did a neat job covering that Randall story. Clark says, sounds nice coming from you, Perry. But this last panel, okay? What in the hell is Clark doing here? He's standing here talking to Patricia in her office because she's seated at a desk holding papers. Okay, that's not all, but hang on. Um, he says, Clark says, I want to congratulate you, Patricia. You've certainly accomplished wonders since you took over active management of your department stores. She responds, I owe it all to Superman. If you come across him, Clark, please give him my thanks. Now, as I said, she is sitting at a desk holding papers. She's got a telephone in front of her. The other half of the panel is more of the office, with Clark Kent standing in front of her desk, holding his hat, arms akimbo in the power looking, you put your hands on your hips with your elbows flexed out as he's talking to her. So he doesn't say, I want to congratulate you, Patricia. He's saying, I want to congratulate you, Patricia. You've certainly, what is this? Months later, even. So he went back just to strike this pose and congratulate Patricia on.
This is their wrap up panel. This is what I always refer to as the police squad ending, where as soon as she finished her line, they would both go ha ha and then freeze, and then the music would play. Those who are listening to the episode have already heard that, because I would have plugged it in there as soon as Ed finished reading the last of her words. But yeah, again, another panel we probably didn't need. We needed to see some airplane shooting at Superman action.
Yeah.
We needed to see more of the airplane slamming into a mountain other than something happening way in the background. But
yeah, this whole page you could have done in a couple 3 panels.
Yes.
Not a whole page.
Yep.
The action, rather than a couple 3 panels, should have been a page or two. Yeah. I'm whoever made the decision to do it this way.
I don't know. It's something that editorial, I think, would have went, you know what? Let's see if we can make this more, do some more action, condense this. But they probably just were chugging these out one after another. Probably didn't have a lot of editorial going in and making a lot of those changes because there just wasn't enough time.
Right. Well, I mean, you consider for these Superman books, there's four stories each issue, and the issue comes out regularly every time. So given, I guess, 2 months, because these are alternating, I think.
Yeah, they're quarterly.
So, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to know why some of these decisions were made the way they were, but I
can only assume it's time pressures, because like you've pointed out on a number of occasions, not only is he writing these 4 stories every quarter, he's writing the Superman story in action every month. He's also writing like Slam Bradley. There's other books and stories that he's writing.
Other parts of Action Comics, and he may even be writing. Is he writing is the newspaper strip off the ground yet?
Probably. I
wonder if he's writing those too.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Where that's, I think, one of the things we lack. We're here to talk. We talk about the comics when it comes to like what's happening in the radio show at this time, or what's happening.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I don't want
to.
I don't want to make it a history show or something like that. Now, things that occur to us historically we bring in, but I don't want it to be here is Superman in the real world. Why are you going to?
Yeah. The fact of the matter is, if we had to do a lot of research for every one of these episodes, we probably wouldn't be doing this show. That's not the point.
Well, it wouldn't be as fun. Talk about the comic book. That's what we want to do.
I do my research for some of my other shows.
Yeah. And I don't really have anything else that I want to add.
No, this was fun. It was another fun Superman number 11. I think will go down in my memory as one of the greats of the Superman titles. I think it's one of the best ones so far.
Okay.
Superman number 11, because all 4 stories kicked ass.
Yeah, they were all really good. Very, very, a lot of fun reading them. Definitely.
Yeah. I will say real quick, back to that very last panel. That's a nice suit Clark's wearing. I think and I think that's a good piece of art as well. Just the design of the suit and the way it's drawn.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, could he be more obvious that he's Superman striking that pose? I don't know, but
I'm not sure what that was meant to be. Yeah.
And the whole Perry White just being a jerk to Clark throughout the story, and then
the whole story.
And then when he get what he wants, oh, Clark, I take it back. And Clark's all like, this is the way I read Clark's response. Sounds nice coming from you, Mr. Perry. It sounds like, because he's, I don't know. You think he'd be like, yeah, you doubted me.
It's about time. I told you I would get it in.
Yeah. Next time you treat me like that, I'm taking the story to the Morning Pictorial.
And there you go, man. Yep. Yeah, and Perry thinking after dogging him all story, just saying, "Hey, thanks, you did a good job," would be enough. Okay.
Apparently it was, because Clark's like, "Oh, he likes me again."
Yeah, that's all it took. He's going to run home to Lois and say that he's in Perry's good graces again.
Oh, and I left this little ad in to my screens because I originally I wanted to point out to you before we started that it looks like, based on when these stories were published. Oh, Bill has something to say. Perry has deadlines. I feel for him.
Okay,
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm just saying, in this day and age, HR might want to have a talk with him. But so we get this ad in this issue telling us that on May 16th, we'll get a second issue of World's Finest Comics, which we already talked about, because in the trades that we're reading, the Superman and the Golden Age, they put this World's Finest story before Superman 11 and Action Comics 38.
Yeah,
when actually
way back there.
Yeah, when actually it came out after this issue. So
maybe the story itself is what they thought dictated the placement.
Yeah,
since it's not any kind of publishing chronology.
I don't know. Just found it weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Ready? Want me to wrap it up?
Absolutely. Good to go.
Okay. In our next episode, a ghostly figure with a burning touch prowls Metropolis. Bullets glance off of him. Jewelry stores are looted at midnight. And a radium-tainted secret at the Chalmers laboratory threatens to plunge the city into panic and even cast suspicion on Superman. That's coming up on episode 95, when Ed and I take a look at the Radioactive Man, the Superman tale that appeared in Action Comics number 39, which was published in June of 1941. So until next time, folks, I'm Steven. That's Ed. And this was the Superman Super Show. Thanks for listening.
Ciao.
He's over there somewhere.
And I want to take a second, definitely thank these folks that have been hanging out with us today. With the holidays and everything approaching like this, a weekend time slot definitely gets filled with a lot of family stuff. So having the time or making the time to sit around and listen to us bullshit about Superman, that's really cool, man. And I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot to you guys.
Haven't had people hanging out with us the last couple of times. So not only is it nice that they're doing it today, but yeah, we had a number of them, a lot of good comments and notes and
that's cool. So that's cool.
So we have obviously I haven't announced it yet. I don't think I've announced it yet on my newsletter or through.
No, I think the only places what'd you do? You emailed me, I think.
Yeah.
Is how I found out.
Starting January, for the time being, Superman Super Show will be monthly. Basically the goal here is to have one episode come out, an episode of a podcast I'm doing come out once a month. So the first Monday of every month will be Superman Super Show. Second Monday will be Hither Came Conan. Third Monday will be another G.I. Joe podcast. And then the fourth Monday for the time being will be season 2 of the comic book show, where I'm going to be talking about the first 5 issues of Proof. So far that's working for me as far as being able to set a to-do schedule list and get stuff done at a certain time and still be able to talk about a variety of things, to make that dog part of my brain that goes squirrel,
to break it up,
that part happy. Yeah. So yeah, but we will have episode number 100 land in 2026. So we'll have to think about if we want to do anything special for that.
Well, this will be 95.
This episode's 94.
94. Okay.
Yeah. The Radioactive Man will be episode 95. So yeah, it'll be in 2026. We'll hit that episode 100, and we can just do it like any old episode, or maybe we can ask people to email us or something. I don't know.
We have kind of a holiday themed episode coming out next, don't we?
Yes, we do. Normally, Monday would be when I would have released the episode, but since it's Christmas themed, it's going out to the subscribers on Monday, tomorrow, and then everybody else, it'll be waiting for them bright and early Christmas morning.
There we go. Have to wait a couple extra days.
It's your Christmas present, though, from me and Ed to you. All right. Anything else we want to tell the folks before we end our live stream?
I don't believe so.
Are you playing an old retro 80s video game, handheld video game?
Yeah, no, that's the power cord of my laptop kicking on and off.
Sound like one of those old football games. Boop,
boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down here.
I'm paying attention. Goal!
Yeah, what? Yes. He didn't get me. Come on.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thank you for joining us. I think we should. Still want to try 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's fine.
That'll be in January. We going to go to Saturday, starting 2026? Or do you want to stick with Sundays?
Let me think. No, I can switch back to Saturday.
Because it doesn't matter either way to me.
Yeah, Saturday is okay.
Okay, so we'll pencil in Saturday, January the 10th.
10. Okay.
Because it would be nice to get ahead again with some of these.
Well, it should be pretty easy in that you're only going to be releasing them once a month.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
We can even, if you want to, we can do, 2, 3, 4 consecutive weekends to get them, and then you'll have them, and we don't have to get together. You can use that time to focus on your other shows, your other editing, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we'll look into that when we begin 2026.
Yep.
2026.
Get the time. There we go. Okay.
Do you are you at that point where you hear something like, well, that something that happened all the way back in 1997, and it's like 97 wasn't that long ago, and then you go, oh yeah, I guess it really was.
Damn, it was. And it's not necessarily that I hear dates, but I see something pop culture, look up the date, and I'm like, shit, that was 40 years ago.
Right?
No way. Yeah. It's quite disorienting sometimes. I mean, there are those things that I know I'm like, yeah, it's been a little while. So, 97 doesn't surprise me. But things that I can still fully remember that happened in 2001, I'm like, what?
Yeah, even just thinking about that, like, something that happened in 2001, 2000, the early 2000s. Doesn't seem like that long ago, but
over 25 years. Yeah, over 20 years. It's like, what? Movies, that I still watch every time they're on or whatever. I'm like, was that long ago that came out? Yeah. I just watched it last weekend. It messes with me pretty hard.
I will say, watching the first Iron Man movie last night.
There's a good example. What was that? 2009?
Something like that. Yeah. It was just before I stopped podcasting the first time, I think. Because I know I've listened to old episodes of Just Another Fanboy where I'm doing news about like Robert Downey Jr.'s cast as Tony Stark.
Coming on. The movie's coming on, right?
Yeah. But watching it, it's like as old as, it is, it completely holds.
It doesn't feel that old at all.
No. It feels like something that was just made today. It looks like something that was with the exception of his beard. His beard, I think, is kind of dated, but otherwise, it looks good. It's just for the first movie to kick off that franchise, they did a good job there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm saving my.
Oh yeah,
file.
I need to do all that too.
Steeven. And then I guess we'll go ahead and officially stop the live stream. So bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
And stop.
And this is, I'm sorry, episode 94.
This is episode 94. Yes. Why is the live stream not ending? Here it goes. End.